Another TwitchCon horror story just dropped. There's just continual degeneracy at these events for some reason. I have no idea why. I just covered the cheating situation yesterday, and today we have something even worse. A man straight walking up to a streamer and just inappropriately touching her live on stream, with that man also being a content creator himself. I'm just going to read you guys the Twitter threads on this whole thing. Let's get into it. So it starts off where this woman by the name of Zenith tweeted out, "I was IRL streaming Sunday after TwitchCon when I met up with System Zake. At one point, he rested his head on my chest and then proceeded to motorboat me. After that, he said, 'Chat, look at her face,' then grabbed my ass and said, 'They don't know what happened.'" So this is about a minute long clip. I'm just going to let it play for you guys. Here it goes.
Shirley. Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's find where we're going.
All right.
I have to move on from that, or I'm gonna die.
Bet.
All right. Please. This way, and then left.
Bet.
Okay.
Yo, Seiki, my man. Oh my fucking gosh. The Seiki just caught up this motherfucker.
No, that's a different thing. That's a whole different thing.
Right.
Wait, I got the perfect idea. All right.
Okay.
I need you to stare right at the chat. All right. Chat, look at her face. Okay. Look at her face. Look at her face.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
You're just saying wow. They don't know what happened.
Yeah, they don't know what happened.
She then continues her thread saying, "I wasn't going to post about it, but this shit makes me feel absolutely disgusting. I've had this on my mind for 3 days now and I just can't forget it. This was all within an hour of meeting each other too. This isn't okay, man. Also, in case anybody tries to defend him because I was laughing, no, laughing is one of the biggest defense mechanisms. At that moment, I had no clue how to react. I disassociated and went into autopilot mode. Literally couldn't even believe that shit really happened. On top of this, I am disappointed in the people who were present in my chat at this time, saying my man Zaki, Lamau, did Zaki just cop a feel? And I honestly can't blame him. Yes, he committed a crime on my live stream. He did do that. All in all, I'm speaking up because nobody should have to go through this. I trusted this man enough to meet up with him in person, and he violated not only my trust, but my boundaries. I'm sorry to other women who have gone through this. This is something we shouldn't have to worry about, but we do. And so of course this has gotten a ton of attention. It blew up to almost 10 million views in just a couple days, about 90,000 likes, and immediately everyone is obviously disgusted. Everyone is obviously shocked. They're just like, what the fuck? Like, how did this even happen? People pointing out in the replies that this is disgusting behavior and it is SA. Which, of course, I mean, I don't know how it can be viewed any other way. This guy obviously barely knew her. You don't really need me to sit here and tell you the truth, which is what it obviously is, that it is SA. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But he ended up making a statement himself on his own Twitter. So he started off saying, "As some of you may already know, I made a huge mistake Sunday evening. I turned what was supposed to be a fun evening into a now painful and harrowing experience for a fellow Twitch streamer. I crossed the line. I understand the full severity of my actions. I am ashamed and truly and deeply sorry. Words cannot express my full regrets, especially considering the impact I have had on this streamer's life. Furthermore, I once again not only want to apologize to her, but also to her fans, to anyone who witnessed my behavior, to all those who have found themselves in a similar position to her, and to my own friends and fans. This is not the person I want to be, and this is not an example of acceptable behavior from anyone. There is no way to excuse or take back my actions, regardless of the context. You cannot make light of my behavior and my disregard of her boundaries and trust. This is a huge wake-up call for me, and I want to take accountability for my awful actions and decisions. I will no longer be drinking, and I will be seeking counseling. I will commit to making sure that I never repeat the same mistakes that I have on that day. I will also be respecting her wishes and seize any communication I have with her. I respect all those who make the decision to step away from associating with me at this time," and his tweet just ends there. First of all, this is a huge wake-up call for me. What do you mean? Is this something you normally do? You normally just grope women that you just met? Like, what a strange way to word this. I'm sorry, but like, this is just terrible. And this wasn't like one little thing. Like, let's say it just was laying his head on her chest, right? right? If it was just that, sure, you know, maybe she would be like, that made me uncomfortable. And he was like, my bad. But this wasn't a, 2-second decision where he just, he lays his head on her chest and she's like, I'm not really cool with that. He did that. Then he intentionally motorboated her. Then 30 seconds later, he continued to grab her by grabbing her, on the butt behind, off camera, making snarky comments about it. So this wasn't even just like one little thing that could have been, too uncomfortable. This is insane. So I don't know. It's just totally unacceptable. And apparently he didn't really have a lot of Twitch followers, but this is his social blade. He had about 2,800. And within a day, he lost 100 followers. And as of today, his account is actually terminated due to violating the community guidelines. So he is off of Twitch. I opened up his YouTube channel and scrolled down on his last upload, which was 5 months ago. And the top comment from 1 day ago, you should be in a shed somewhere making license plates. Wow. W comments, BTFO'd. And yeah, so look, I mean, I've looked at this story. I saw some people cover this story. Some takeaways that I saw from a few people who went over this is that they were kind of upset at, the over explaining of things, in these replies, like how Zenith is just going off and, yapping. And it could have been very simple, very straightforward. But I think that criticism is just kind of silly. It just kind of is meaningless. First of all, me as a commentator, am I going to complain that someone is over explaining things or talking? Two things. One, selfishly, I mean, it gives me more to talk about. But two, I mean, this is a huge situation for this person. They were literally essayed and groped on the street by someone that they trust. I'm not going to be upset if they want to explain like their thought process and what happened in this clip. Like, who cares? Let them do it. It's not that big of a deal. And also, I understand this part in particular here, where she's talking about, laughing is a defense mechanism. Absolutely. She's trying to get ahead of what people are probably going to say, which is, you seem really comfortable and happy in that clip. That's why he took it to that level. And it's like, no, that's not what's happening here at all. So she obviously feels the need to clarify that, which is why she's saying what she said in this reply. And I don't think there's anything really wrong with this. I mean, it's appropriate. Again, it gives more to the story. It clarifies her thoughts. It gets ahead of people who might try to, slap some sort of meaning on her laughter in this clip. And so, yeah, I mean, it makes complete and total sense. I don't think there's really anything wrong with her saying that. And when it comes to the chat, I mean, I guess I don't really know what these people's history is. I don't know if Zaki and this person were like, friends, longtime friends or something. Maybe he was a mod for her, but either way, regardless, it still is just an insane thing to do. Given that the chat is reacting like, my man Zaki to Zaki Copperfield, it seems like they maybe like knew him, may have been part of her community, but yeah, I mean, this is just yet another story of just horrific things happening at TwitchCon. I don't know how often this is going to happen. I feel like if you show up to TwitchCon now in the future, you should just fully expect to get cheated on, ruin your marriage of 15 years, get essayed. It's just to such an insane point now. Like, it's nonstop. And so she ended up going live yesterday, just answered a couple questions about it, gave a couple more thoughts. She talked about it for a little while, but I'm just going to play a couple clips from her stream. Firstly, she was talking about a lot of people gave her some backlash for like waiting 3 days to post about it. Like, why didn't you do it quicker? So here's her talking about that.
I will take my time to go through it. I know I just couldn't not post about it, man. People were saying some shit like, why take 3 days? As if like 3 days. That's what made me so pissed off, actually. Let's talk about that. That made me so fucking mad, is when people are saying shit like, why did you wait 3 days? Like, 3 days is like an absolute insane amount of time to wait to post something. Like, no, that is so recent. That is so fucking recent. That literally just happened this weekend. Like, I don't understand that take. Like, I'm allowed to think, and I'm allowed to ponder whether or not I do want to talk about it and bring it publicly. I'm allowed to do that. It's my fucking trauma. It's my trauma. So, yeah, that shit, I got pissed fucking reading those messages. Because it's like, no, like, a victim of this type of stuff should ever have to feel guilty for ever coming out, no matter how long it's been. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to process. That's what I'm saying. I got touched without my consent inappropriately, and people are worried about the time of how long it's been. Like, hello? Like, I don't get it. I don't fucking get that.
And I mean, yeah, I have to agree with her here. Obviously, it doesn't make any sense to be upset about that. Why am I going to be sitting here up in arms, pressed, and just like baby raging about that it took her 3 days to talk about it? I mean, it just doesn't even make any sense. You have people like Katie Bugs who wait like a year plus, and then they make a story that's just filled with inconsistencies, filled with different lies and like different ways that she just like details she left out, cuddling for over an hour, stuff like that she intentionally didn't mention. And then we have this woman who has it straight up on video evidence. The guy she just met in his first physical interaction with her is instantaneously groping her. Pretty much a couple days later, she decides, this needs to be public, and she does it, and people are upset. Like, if anything, this should be like the standard. This is what people should be like, wow, this is a clear-cut case. It doesn't get any more obvious than this. But the fact that there are some people that are still upset, it's insane to me. So I don't even blame her for being mad about that. And here is a little bit more commentary from her. She talks about that she actually brought it up to him IRL after this took place, like before she was going to go home, I'm assuming after the stream was turned off, and he basically gave an excuse that he was drunk. So here's her talking about that as well.
Like, I remember at the end of the day, like, I was gonna go get an Uber. I was getting Uber, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go home, man. I brought it up to him at the end, and he was just like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was drunk. I had like 2 Jaeger bombs, and yeah, I was just really nervous to meet you. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. You were nervous to meet me, so you decided to put your hands on me. You decided to put your hands on me in front of a camera. Like, imagine if I wasn't streaming, bro. Like what else would you do? Like, what else would you do if you're comfortable doing that shit? Like, what? I don't get it, man.
So yeah, again, I don't know. There's really just no excuse for it. It's unacceptable behavior at the end of the day. But such is life, such is TwitchCon, I suppose. Moral of the story, don't go to TwitchCon. Don't send your significant others to TwitchCon. Fuck TwitchCon. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.